What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. Anthony Joshua gets knocked out by Anthony Ruiz. TKO in the 7th round. A shocker to the boxing world, everybody. Oh, yeah, I told you guys, man, who was the best heavyweight in the world. I told you guys Deontay Wilder was the best heavyweight in the world, number one. And I told you guys that the second best heavyweight in the world wasn't even Anthony Joshua. It was Tyson Fury. Look here, folks. Anthony Joshua is not built for this, man. He got hurt and he just crumbled, man. He folded like a tent, man. You know, it's almost like when you look at his post-fight interview after he lost, man. It was like a weight had lifted off his shoulders, man. He was like, man, you know, just too much pressure on me, man. It was just like the guy was it's like a whole load of pressure was off his shoulder, man. It's almost like he looked like a fighter that was relieved. You know, you should have been, he should have, I think, if you're the undisputed champion, you're supposed to be the so-called #1 heavyweight in the world, so a lot of the experts say. If you have a devastating loss like that, man, my first reaction was I probably wouldn't even want to do the interview. I'd be like, man, I just go to the locker room. Maybe after I calm down and cool off for maybe an hour, 2 hours, maybe you send the zone back there in the dressing room and maybe I do an interview then. But, he did an interview, man, and, and it was just like relief on his face, man. That's the first thing I noticed when I watched him, man, relief on the guy's face, man. Just crazy, man. But he lost the fight, man. He got dominated, got dropped 3 times, I think. He got hurt multiple times, man. Anthony Ruiz was catching him with the overhand right, man. He couldn't miss him with the overhand right, man. And I told you guys, man, if you watched my fight prediction before the fight, man, I told you, man, Anthony Joshua had to use his jab. And he did not utilize his jab enough in the fight, man. He tried to get into a shootout with a guy that had more bullets in the gun than he had. They had, basically Anthony Joshua had a 45. And Anthony Ruiz had an AK-47, man. So you got in the shootout with while you shooting, he hit you with them type of shots. You're going to lose that every time, man. His shot's going to get there quicker than your shot. His shots are more explosive. It's coming at a faster clip than your shots coming in. That's basically what it is. That's basically what it was in this fight, man. He was just outgunned and, just got beat, man. It wasn't no fluke, man. This wasn't no Lennox Lewis, Hakeem Rockman, where, Lennox Lewis got lazy and got complacent, didn't train right, was doing a move, and just got caught with a shot. And he came back in a rematch and redeemed himself. They got a rematch clause for this fight. Anthony Joshua said 100% that he's going to take the rematch. You can best believe the rematch is going to be in the UK. They probably going to put this fight at one of those big stadiums down there in the UK. So it's going to be a fight that's going to have 80,000, 90,000 fans. And it's gonna be a lot of trepidation for them people coming to that fight, because they know if he gets beat again by Anthony Ruiz, his career as a elite fighter is over. It's basically over now, in my opinion. But he could say, hey, I had a bad night at the office. I was focused on Wilder, trying to get him to the negotiating table. I was focused on trying to maybe get a fight with Fury. Had a lot of things playing on my mind. First time in the United States, I was out of my elements. He can have a whole lot of bogus excuses, but excuses nonetheless that he can kind of say after this fight. But in the rematch, it's gonna be, you see how he folded this fight. There was a lot of pressure on Anthony Joshua. A lot of people, his star has fallen. He knows this. He sees that Deontay brand is taking off. Even Fury, after he had to fight with Deontay Wilder, his brand has taken off. And they've kind of, to my opinion, moved ahead of Joshua, as I had him ranked #3 going into this fight behind Wilder and Fury, just ahead of Luis Ortiz. And so it was a lot of pressure on him. Now, he's basically not even in the top 4, probably. I probably put, of course I put Ortiz ahead of him. I probably put Dylan White ahead of him at this point. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on him in the rematch. I think what he needs to do is, first of all, he needs to change training. Rob McCracken, you went as far as you can go with Rob McCracken, Anthony Joshua. You need to switch training. You need to come down here to the United States and get you American training. Look at Amir Khan. Amir came down here and got Virgil Hunter and went training with him. Before that, he had Freddie Roach. You need to get you American trainer. I'm not saying anything. I'm not trying to take anything away from Rob McCracken and the fighters he's trained in the past, but His career as an elite fighter is on life support right now, Anthony Joshua. So he's gonna have to get a top-notch trainer. He need to come over here, try to get like a Ronnie Shields, one of these top-line trainers, Ronnie Shields out of Houston, Robert Garcia over there in Los Angeles area. You need to get Floyd Mayweather Sr. Them probably the top 3 trainers coming to mind right now. He need to come down here and get one of those trainers and try to get one of those trainers to train him, man. He needs to work on his jab, man. You 6'6", guy. You fighting a guy that they listed him at 6'2", but he's 6 feet in Anthony Ruiz, man. You've got to use your reach, and you got to fight tall and use your height. You got into a firefight with a guy that had a more powerful weapon than you had, basically what I said earlier. He had an AK-47, you had a 45. Matter of fact, you didn't have a 45. You had a Saturday night special, man. You had a Saturday night special, and you was just outgunned. So, a good shout out to Anthony Ruiz, man. Great fight, man. I'm happy for him, man. The guy, you can look at his eyes and say before the fight, he said the guy was serious, man. He was he asked for this fight when Jarrell Miller got popped dirty for PEDs. And he called Eddie and he said he wanted this fight because he said he could win this fight. That's what Eddie said in the interview. He said, man, the guy said I can beat him and I want this fight. I want the fight. He said other guys were saying that they wanted to take the fight and how much would they get paid for fighting Anthony Joshua. He said Anthony Ruiz didn't say that. Anthony Ruiz was saying I want to fight. I can beat AJ. He wasn't really just stressing well how much you're going to give me and how much I can make and this and that. He wanted to fight Anthony Joshua because obviously he's seen something in Anthony Joshua previous fights. And I told you guys before that Anthony Joshua has not been the same since the Vladimir Klitschko fight. When he got dropped in that fight, he got back up. He was in serious trouble. But Vladimir Klitschko is not a killer. Never have been and never will be. He's not a killer. He wins fights on jab, and he leans on you, tires you out, and eventually he gets you out of there when he sees that you just pretty much got no chance to and put no danger toward him as far as hurting him, and then he goes for the kill then. But if you think you any kind of slim chance that you playing possum or you're not as hurt as he, or you're not as finished or fatigued, or you still got a little fight in you, he's gonna back off, and that's what he did with AJ in that first fight. He hurt him in that what was it? I think it was a 7th round, somewhere toward the middle part of the fight. I think it was the 7th round. He hurt AJ. AJ was in bad trouble. He was hurt bad. But he did not step on the gas. He allowed AJ to recover. AJ was like, oh man, he let me recover, man. Then AJ went to work, and AJ ended up stopping him in the late in the second half of that fight. Ended up stopping him in around, I think it was around 10 or 11th round in a TKO. But that fight, and ever since that fight there, you look at the Takam fight. He had a lot of help from the referee. The referee didn't let Takam do any kind of inside fighting. He won that fight on a premature stoppage, but didn't look impressive in that fight. He fought Parker. That fight was one of the most boring unification fights in boxing history, in heavyweight boxing history, man. I don't think either one of those guys landed more than 80 punches in that fight. That fight was horrible, man. It wasn't a lot of punches thrown, but I thought AJ won the fight, but it was more of Parker didn't let his hands go. Parker was fighting on the back foot for the majority of that fight, and Joshua he looked up and like, hey, this guy's not throwing no punches. This guy's on his back foot. I might as well let my hands go. And he let his hands go, particularly in the second half of that fight, and he just basically beat Parker on volume of punches, man. He just threw more punches, man. He was just more aggressive in that fight. And then you look at after that, he fought Povetkin. He got hurt bad in that fight. Povetkin is a smaller heavyweight, couldn't finish him off, and he was able to come back and win that fight. But Povetkin is past his best days. People want to talk about how old Luis Ortiz is. Luis Ortiz, I don't care how old he is. He don't fight his age. If he's 45, he fight like he's 25. He's one of the best heavyweights out there right now. He doesn't fight his age. Povetkin is a guy that looks old, fights old. A guy that can look good for maybe spots of the fight. He can look good early in fights, but as the fight prevails, he wears down like an older man does. The stamina is gone. He don't have the stamina he had early in his career. So so he was able to win that fight, basically being a younger, fresher fighter. He just outlasted Povetkin and ended up stopping him. But he hasn't looked good since the Vladimir Klitschko fight. He's lost a lot of confidence. He's not as aggressive as he was. His punches are not as sharp as he was. So it's time for him to get another trainer. He need to drop Rob McCracken, get him to come to the United States, and get him a trainer. Like I said, the three guys I mentioned earlier: Ronnie Shields, Floyd Mayweather Sr., or Robert Garcia. That's the 3 trainers he needs to be looking at. You know what I'm saying? And try to revive and revive his career. Maybe they can teach him some new tricks. Teach him how to use his height, lose his reach, use his jab, get a little bit more. He's not gonna never be as athletic as Deontay Wilder, but he can be more athletic and not as robotic as he's been under the guidance of Rob McCracken. Man, he can get a little bit more agile. I think he's working on his agility, get a little bit more agile, and get a little bit more defense. His defense is bad, man. He was getting caught with the right hand time and time again. He didn't make no adjustment. Rob McCracken didn't make any adjustment, man. You got to make adjustment, man. You got to take away the right hand, man. If you start getting, hit with the left hook, which he did get hit with the left hook a little bit too, but you got to take away that right hand. He couldn't miss him with that right hand. You got to take away that right hand and then make him beat you with the left hook, man. And he didn't do that enough in this fight. And that's the reason why he got stopped in the 7th round, man. But a great win for Andy Ruiz. It's gonna look like it's gonna probably be a rematch. Because AJ said after the fight, 100% he wants a rematch. But I don't see how. If he stays with Rob McCracken, man, I see the same outcome again, man. Even if he gets with one of these other trainers, I think that's his best bet to get with one of these USA trainers, United States trainers, and try to work on a new skill set. And like I was saying earlier, work on his jab, be a more consistent jab. Using his height, get a little bit more agile, a little bit more agility to his fight. Don't be so robotic. And that's his best bet. It still might not be enough to beat Andy Ruiz, because Andy Ruiz got a big advantage over him in hand speed. He's just so much faster than Anthony Joshua, and then he got more power than Anthony Joshua. And then his defense is better than Anthony Joshua. So it's gonna be an uphill battle either way it goes, man. But if he stay with Rob McCracken, man, it's gonna be the same outcome in my opinion. And after that, he's gonna be a middle of the road fighter. He's gonna be fighter just like he's gonna be on the same level as Dominique Brazil and Martin and all them type of fighters. You're gonna be on that level with them, man. You're gonna be on that level. You're just gonna be a middle of the road type of fighter. So he's gonna have to make some changes, man. He's got to sit down with his Eddie Hearn and Papa Hearn, Barry Hearn, and sit down and see if they can make some serious changes, man. Because this is 4 fights in a row since the Klitschko that he has looked horrible, looked like trash actually. And for you UK fans, I'm not gonna say UK fans, you AJ fans, a lot of y'all guys are in the UK, thought that Anthony Joshua could beat Deontay Wilder. Please, man. That'd have been Anthony Joshua. That fight wouldn't even made it past 3 rounds, man. Deontay Wilder, if that had been Deontay Wilder, he wouldn't got past. He might have even got out the 1st round, but I'm just going to, say maybe he definitely wouldn't have went past 3 rounds. The guy would have got stopped, man. He would have got knocked out cold. You see what we've been telling you guys. I've been telling you guys. The guy got no head movement. He's robotic. He's lined up for Wilder's right hand, just like he was lined up for Anthony Ruiz's right hand. Now, if that was Wilder throwing that right hand, he'd have been out of there quicker. He got dropped 3 times and got up, but if Wilder would have caught him with that right hand, just one punch, and it'd have been all she wrote. You know what I'm saying? He'd have been asleep. You know what I'm saying? So it would have been a massacre, man. That's basically what happened. So UK fans, I don't know. I guess you're gonna jump on the bandwagon with Tyson Fury. He's gonna be your new hero. You're gonna be thinking, well, he beat Wilder. A lot of you guys always say he already beat Wilder. He ain't beat Wilder. It was a draw. He lost 2 of the first 4 rounds, in my opinion. He got knocked down twice in the second half of the fight, so I had it a draw. You had people that thought Fury won. I have no problem with that. You had people that thought Wilder won. I had no problem with that. I had it a draw. It was a very competitive fight. They're gonna get a rematch going in 2020. Hopefully, provided both of them guys win, and that's not just a automatic assumption. But Wilder got a tough fight coming up with Luis Ortiz. Tyson Fury should take care of Tom Hanks, aka Tom Schwartz, and he should beat him. He's fought absolutely nobody, and then I think he'll probably have another tune-up in sometime in September around about the same time Wilder fighting. It shouldn't be nobody nobody of note, because you look at the top-ranked roster of heavyweights, they really don't have nobody. You see Joseph Parker signed with Matchroom, so he's going to be fighting on the zone. So I don't know who they got. Brian Jennings got a fight coming up with Joe Joyce. Oscar Rivas got a fight coming up with Dylan White. So they have slim pickings over there with top rank. So I assume it'll be another nobody after Tom Schwartz. Tyson Fury takes care of that, knocks a little bit more rust off himself. We get ready for the fight early 2020. The two best heavyweights in boxing. I told you guys this before. It was not Wilder. Everybody was like, Wilder and AJ is the two best fighters in the heavyweight division. That's the fight I want to see. And I always said, no, if fight happens, it's a good fight, but that's not. It's a top 4 heavyweight fight. It's number 1 against number 3. Because I got AJ behind Fury and Wilder. So I can't be mad at it because it would have been a top 4 fight. Just like I'm not mad at Wilder versus Fury, as I have Ortiz number 4 and I had Wilder number 1 going into this fight. I'm gonna have to rearrange this after the AJ fight tonight, as he got dominated. So we'll see what happens, man. But AJ got knocked out, folks. He got beat down, man. He came over here to the United States and wet the bed. Basically, he wet the bed, man. He wet the bed, man. He got dominated over here. You came over here with all this hype. You got all these so-called boxing experts, Teddy Atlas calling you the number 1 heavyweight. You got Max Kellerman, got you up there ranked high. I think he might have had you. He basically had you. He did have you number 1. But I think recently he probably had you. I think he had Tyson Fury number 1. And I think he had Wilder and AJ battling for number 2. But he shouldn't even been battling nobody for number 2 because he's not even in the top 2. I had him number 3, and after this fight tonight, man, he's not even in the top 5. Actually, I can name 5 heavyweights better than him. Wilder, Fury. Now you got to put Andy Ruiz up there. Andy Ruiz, Ortiz, and Dylan White. That's your top 5 heavyweights right there. So it is what it is, man. Great performance by Andy Ruiz. First Mexican heavyweight champion. Viva Mexico! First Mexican heavyweight champion. That's a source of pride for all the Latinos out there and all my Latinos brothers and sisters. I know you guys gonna be happy. You got a heavyweight champion for the first in boxing history, and it's a good thing, man. And we'll see what happens, man. Because if he beats AJ again, man, the big fight that's gonna be people gonna be talking about is gonna be Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz. That's 2. You got 2 fighters under the same PBC banner. Both of these guys are advised by Al Heyman. It would be a big time pay-per-view fight, man. But both of those guys still got work to do. Deontay Wilder got to get by 2 tough fights coming up with Ortiz and Fury, and Andy Ruiz obviously got to win the rematch against Anthony Joshua in the UK. Most likely it's going to be staged in the UK. So we'll see what happens, man. But great night of boxing. One of the biggest upsets in boxing history, but it's not up there with. I wouldn't put it up there with Buster Douglas over Mike Tyson. Buster Douglas was 100-1 underdog. I don't think Andy Ruiz was that big of an underdog. He's probably somewhere. I don't know what the odds are. I got to look at the odds, but I would think they wouldn't be no more than 10-1. I don't think it'd be no bigger than that. 10-1, somewhere around 7-1 to 10-1. I have a hard time believing it'd be bigger than that. Especially if you had to do it, just look at the fact that Anthony Joshua hadn't fought since September. He had been off 9 months. Andy Ruiz had just fought. Took like a week off when he beat Andy Ruiz had beat Dimitrenko. And took a week off and ended up getting the Joshua fight when Gerald Big Baby Miller got popped for PEDs, and he took like a week off or maybe 2 weeks and went right back in the gym. So he was still in good rhythm going into this fight, man. He took advantage of this. So what AJ needs to do, like I said, he needs to get a new trainer, a new U.S. trainer, and what he needs to do is. He don't need to push this fight 5-6 months later. This fight happened tonight, June 1st. He needed to be trying to fight Andy Ruiz sometime at the end of the year. He needs to get back in the ring. He needs to get back in the training camp and work on some things and try to knock off this rust, man. Because I think that's another thing hurt him. He took too long off in between fights, man. He hadn't fought for 9 months in between the Povetkin fight. And I think even before the Povetkin fight, after he beat Parker, it was a little break between the Parker and the Povetkin fight. And then the Povetkin fight to the Ruiz fight was 9 months. He fought like twice in I say he probably fought like twice in 15 months or something like that. So that was just too much inactivity. So he needs to get right back in the gym with his new trainer, hopefully, and try to get that fight by the end of the year, man. So he can be in some kind of rhythm. Because if he wait another 6-7 months, that's gonna be some more rustiness. And he put rustiness on top of lack of confidence that he's showing right now, especially after the Klitschko fight, and it just went tenfold in this fight with Ruiz. The lack of confidence it's going to be another bad situation for Anthony Joshua. So I think he needs to get right back in the ring as quick as possible to try to get some kind of rhythm flowing, and hopefully get some new skills, learn some new skills, learn some new and improved skills from his new trainer, hopefully. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. This is JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I holla.